I now have one final surprise for you. After all the questioning, after all the unravelling, when the illusion of separation falls away, life does not become strange, it becomes astonishingly ordinary, because what disappears is not the world, but the tension of standing apart from it. There is a quiet assumption we carry almost unconsciously that we arrived in this world as strangers, as if we were dropped into it, as if life happened to us. But what if you never came into this world at all? You did not come into the universe, you came out of it, just as an apple comes from an apple tree, just as a wave rises from the ocean. The universe creates the conditions to express itself as stars, as planets, and here now as people. And where exactly does you end? We imagine the self as something contained inside our skin, an inside looking out at an outside, but this boundary is conceptual, not real. Your lungs are not sealed chambers, they are openings through which the world breathes. Your eyes do not look out at light, they are places where light becomes sight. The division between inner and outer exists only as an idea. Which leads us to this idea that can only be put into words rather clumsily. Inside, outside, you cannot describe one without the other. A tree cannot be understood without soil, sunlight and rain. Remove the environment, and the tree disappears. In exactly the same way, you cannot describe a human being without air, food, gravity, warmth, and community. What we call a person is better understood as an organism environment field, not a thing. A process. Two sides of the same coin. Just as we never find heads without bodies, or bodies without heads, we never find an organism without an environment. We often assume we are separate because we can move around, because we can walk away. But movement does not create independence. A fish may swim freely, yet it remains inseparable from the water. If you were to leave your environment entirely, say into space, you would need to bring a carefully canned version of it with you, which tells us something quietly profound. What we call self and world are not opposites. They arise together. But there is nothing that needs to be fixed. Awakening is not an improvement project. Most people imagine realization as an achievement, a breakthrough, some dramatic shift. But the separation was never real, so nothing needs repairing. The search itself was the strain. When that relaxes, life continues exactly as it was, only without the inner resistance. Life moves perfectly well without a manager. Breathing happens, walking happens, speaking happens, and you may notice none of these ever required a self to operate them. Action flows without ownership, not careless, just unburdened, like music playing without a conductor trying to control every note. And when there is no one in the way, love can deepen. When you believe you are separate, every relationship requires effort. But when separation loosens, connection stops being a bridge you must cross. Listening deepens. Compassion arises, not because you try, but because there is no wall left to protect. And even though that wall comes down, pain still happens. But suffering does not have to. Life still includes pain, loss, change. But suffering, the mental resistance to what is, depends on a self who feels attacked by reality. And when separation dissolves, pain is felt fully, but it does not echo endlessly in thought. The wound heals faster because it is not rehearsed. Now you might ask, what happens when you believe you are alone? When we believe we are separate from the world, we begin to treat it as something to conquer. We exploit the land, We dominate each other. We exhaust ourselves. All that you need to do is look around at the world to see it. And all the while, we are harming the very system that sustains us. It is like a hand declaring war on the body, forgetting that whatever it destroys, it must also feel. However, you are not a passenger. When the illusion of separation relaxes, something subtle yet revolutionary occurs. Life is no longer something happening to you. It is happening as you. Your thoughts arise from the same source as the stars. Your breath moves with the same rhythm as the tides. The universe is not observing you, it is exploring itself through you. Non-separation does not mean passivity. You still respond. You still correct mistakes. You still grow. Action becomes clean, not tangled in self-judgment, like adjusting your footing instead of condemning yourself for slipping. The world is a single movement. You are not in the universe, you are an expression of it. Waves do not fight the ocean. Leaves do not argue with the wind. When separation dissolves, life is seen as a single movement, appearing as many forms. You are here, not a fragment trying to belong. You are the whole, temporarily speaking from this place. This concludes our series on the nature of the self. And if you found this insightful, I'd love to hear about what parts resonated the most with you. So the end of the search is not fireworks, it is ease. You stop standing apart from life and discover you are always standing within it. Nothing special was added, nothing essential was removed, only the imagined distance disappeared. And what remains is simply this: life, living itself, right where you are.